Hey everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com. Welcome to the Friday edition of Today in Sports Betting. It is the end of the week. Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back, buy yourself a drink. You've made it through one more week. TGIF, baby. And it's usually my favorite day of the week. Number one, we do 17 shows in one day, so that's always good. No, we actually do three shows. We take a look at tonight's college football. We're going to take a look at our top three plays for college football, and then later on we're going to be doing our NFL picks. So let's get it rolling, Scotty. We got a three-pack of action for tonight, man. You excited?
I think I have to be. However, before we actually get started on the college football breakdown, I have a brief rant that I want to get off my chest. I'm hoping all three of these games are actually on TV. And the reason why I say that, quick question for you. What quality sporting events were on last night besides the San Diego State game at 10 o'clock?
I couldn't believe that wasn't on regular TV.
I am scrolling through my channels, and I see CBS Sports has the Southern Miss game. And I'm thinking, okay, so CBS Sports doesn't have anything else to show.
Right.
And you have two college football games on TV, so you should put, the lesser game on CBS Sports. And I'm like, all right, so where's Pitt and Georgia Tech, two ACC teams that, it's a pretty big conference in college football. Right. So I'm scrolling through the channels, and I'm thinking, all right, there's no college basketball that's worth anything. And I see McGregor Khabib. I'm like, all right, they're replaying the old fight card from like 2.5 years ago. Sure. Scrolling through, it's like Sports Center. Oh, okay. Scroll through. I'm like, is it on the ACC network? It's like, no, they got women's basketball on. I'm like, where the hell is the college? Where's the football game? And I go on ESPN. It's on ESPN 3.
Yeah.
They didn't put it on TV. What are we doing?
Yeah, and I've been having trouble with the I'll rant with you. I've been having trouble with the ESPN app on my phone. So I cannot currently watch games on my phone off of ESPN. So then I have to go in my office and get the ESPN app up on my TV and watch it through there. It's very frustrating.
It's one thing if you have maybe, for example, a Duke Carolina basketball game. Or you have Kentucky playing, or Duke, or any of these teams.
Okay.
Like you have something that actually competes with ratings because those teams will bring in ratings.
Yes.
There were no college basketball games at all yesterday that were really entertaining to anybody. I know I had money on Riverside, which is a separate story because that's a separate rant for another video. But I thought that they would easily have the game, and it's on ESPN 3. So I had to stream it on my computer the entire time. What are we doing? There's nothing on TV. Put the game on.
Yeah, I agree. It was I thought that was some sort of mistake. I kept thinking I was missing it, but
I thought I started looking at ABC. Like I was scrolling through actual regular cable television channels.
Right.
I'm thinking there's no way this game cannot be on TV.
Ridiculous. I cannot believe whatever they put on ESPN pulled more viewers than a live college football game.
Or at least the ACC network they had women's basketball on. But put the football game on. What are you doing here?
Because let's be honest, Scott. I like the women's game. I enjoy watching it. It's a good fundamental game. You want to see how basketball is supposed to be played before everybody became gargantuanly tall. It's very good. They're very good at the fundamentals. I enjoy the game. However, I think there is no universe that a women's college basketball game pulls more viewers than an ACC football game.
I think that's a no-brainer. And I know that ESPN and all these other networks are all into the ratings because that's how they make their money.
Right.
So I figured, worst case is there's two college football games on. One's on CBS Sports. You might want to pull the other one out.
Yep.
But, that's just my brief rant there. And I knew you'd agree with it when I started talking.
That's solid. Okay.
I thought it was definitely worth talking about.
Well, and, the one thing that that game had last night, the Pitt and the Georgia Tech game, a good chance to be better than any of these games here tonight. So,
I thought the Southern Miss game was game of the night.
I did nothing on that game. I
didn't either. I know that we both split on that though. We like the under, but we also like Southern Miss, so we chopped on that one.
Yeah, it was. It's hard not to play the under when you have that defense involved, but they were just dreadful.
They're giving up like 12 points per game. They gave up 45.
Yeah, just awful.
That's just not good. I mean, that we also talked about when we went on air that if it's going to go over, you're going to need 2 defensive special teams touchdowns. It went way over. You did get 2 defensive or special teams touchdowns that definitely didn't help the under.
I've taken 2 plays on the FAU. Leaned. Well, I took 1 actual play and then leaned, of course, yesterday.
Well, the UMass one was a disaster, but that's a separate story.
Yeah, they've screwed me twice. So hell with that team.
I had nothing on them, but still, it was an entertaining game. I thought it was fine, but whatever.
All right, very good. All right, sir. Well, we got 3 for tonight, and it's an interesting card, Scott. Let's start off here in the Conference USA as the UTEP Miners travel to Denton to take on the North Texas Mean Green. Man, this is I had this game last week. This North Texas team, I hit it last week. We're going to try. So as far as the numbers go, let me see what we've updated here too. It's currently Texas minus 9.5. 64.5 is your total there. So that the total actually in this game has come down. Scott, what do you got here?
Well, I feel like this is going to be the first of 3 games that we're all kind of on the fence about. I'm not going to go to the window with any of these, but for the sake of this game, I am going to lean to the under. It's a very, very bold play by me, or at least a lean by me. I know North Texas's defense has been the opposite of mean because they've been awful all year long. They got killed by Louisiana Tech last week, which we both had, so we did pretty well in that game. Yep. But UTEP offensively, not very good. That's how I'll put that very, very delicately. The issue that I have with North Texas is the fact that even though this team defensively as a whole is not very good, it is worth mentioning that they only gave up less than 20 to Rice. So they have had some moments against below-average offenses.
Right.
They have actually looked decent.
Yeah, gave up 17 to Rice, and I think they would have given up 34 to everybody else.
Basically. I think that what you have to ask yourself is, though, how many points do you think North Texas is going to score? I think if you wanted to actually play this game, I would probably lean to the UTEP team total under instead of an actual full game over-under, because there is a chance North Texas comes out and just drops 50.
Yep.
I mean, UTEP allowed 52 to UTSA. Like, this defense isn't great either. So I think that there is a decent chance that North Texas can go off. Their defense is terrible, but I don't think UTEP's offense is very good. So I think if you're going to play this game from a total perspective, I don't want the over when I know that one team is going to have to do pretty much all the heavy lifting. But I also know that based on the high total, the team total for UTEP might be a bit inflated. So for that reason, I'm going to lean to the UTEP team total under.
27 is your number there, Scott.
And that's a little bit too high, so I'll go to the under.
Yeah, I don't hate that if you do have that play available. I know not everybody has team totals in college football available, so I've got the under 66 here. I got this yesterday, so I did beat the line move by a little bit. But you're right, that Mean Green offense, the defense is dreadful, giving up 41.1 points per game. In case you're thinking, wow, that seems pretty high. That's 127th in FBS, and it's
You're saying that it's bad to allow over 500 yards per game?
Yeah, 511 yards per game. That's 128. So at least they're honest. They're terrible at both. They bend, they break, they do everything. The offense is really good, but here's the deal with the offense, Scott. If you want a little glimmer of hope about playing the under, offense is 14th in the nation in yards. However, they're just 40th in scoring. So they're not really efficient as far as red zone offense goes.
I don't think Bean is very good. They have 2 quarterbacks that they rotate in and out for the most part. And Bean, if you've watched him play, very good athlete. He's got a lot of speed, so that's always going to be a threat for UTEP. But he is so inaccurate with the ball. It's really just painful to watch at times.
Yeah. And, this is a UTEP team that's –
they've had a really mixed bag season. They were decent to start. They kind of fell apart. But
yeah, they were 3-0 to start, and I'm sure it's the first time since Texas has been a state that they've probably been 3-0. But so they won 3 games this year. In case you don't think that sounds impressive, they won 2 games total over the last 3 years. So 3 games, even beating FCS schools. That's a big deal for them.
And they beat UL Monroe, who would be a mediocre or below average FCS school.
Yeah, and they beat Stephen F. Austin, which is actually a good FCS school. Mm-hmm. And then they beat a dreadful FCS school.
I mean, I remember having money on Louisiana Tech against them on one of the 3 college football plays a couple weeks ago, and I know UTEP only lost by 4. So they've actually been, I'd say, okay. Then the wheels completely fell off.
Yeah,
but I mean, they've also had some COVID issues, which is why they didn't play from October 25th through November 13th. So they had a decent gap there. The defense has been terrible since, but I'm kind of going to fade this UTEP offense because I really just don't think it's that good.
No, they score just 20 points a game. That's good for 109th in D1.
See, they only score 20 points per game, but also throw it out there. We mentioned the FCS teams that they've played against. They scored 24 against FCS opponent SF Austin. They scored 17 against Abilene Christian. They scored 31 against Monroe. Now, 31 against Monroe might sound decent. It's not. Monroe is terrible.
They are.
Like, their defense is probably worse than North Texas's. It's close, in my opinion. Not statistically, but I'm saying North Texas also plays with a lot of pace, so they have to face more plays.
Right.
You look at UL Monroe, that team can't stop a nosebleed.
Yeah, the play per game, the play per the yards per play for Monroe.
Yep. That kind of stuff. So I think UTEP is offensively challenged, and I think that even though North Texas's defense is terrible, they still clearly have the better athletes.
Yeah.
So I'll lean to UTEP team total under here.
All right, very good. I'm with you on that. I've got you got to play on the side. You want to touch it?
I guess I'm leaning North Texas minus 9.5, but there's no chance in the world I'm taking North Texas.
No, I agree. I agree with both. I agree with both those statements. I would never in my wildest dreams put money on UTEP, but there's no way to back this North Texas team to cover anything. So I couldn't. There isn't a poll long enough that I would touch this game with as far as the total goes. So I'll take the under. 64.5 now. I'll still play it.
Cool.
Getting close to draining the value though. All right, Scott. Next, Arizona State at Arizona. That's the Territorial Cup. It's the longest continuous running cup or whatever in the nation. Did you know that?
I actually did not know that.
They've played 13 years before Arizona became a state.
Okay.
So there you go. Arizona State is 11.5 point favorite here. 54.5 is the total. Scott, it's a big time rivalry game here. Primetime TV on Friday night. And these teams have absolutely nothing to play for except pride in the cup. Are they going to be able to get up for it? And if so, who's going to get up better?
I'm going to lean to Arizona State. It's not really a powerful lean once again because Arizona State's only played 2 games. They got hit pretty badly with COVID. So they ended up missing about a month. They played last week, lost a pretty close game to UCLA. Don't look now. Chip Kelly's team's actually not that bad. But looking at Arizona State, I still think they're better than Arizona. The main issue I have with Arizona, this team was projected to be the worst team in the Pac-12 going into the year under Kevin Sumlin, who I really think is just an underwhelming coach. I know that at A&M he had some success. I don't think he's very good. I think Herm Edwards is the better coach.
No, he's got one more school. He's got to continue his fall when because I'm guessing A&M, and then he goes to Arizona. I'm guessing some sort of middle of the road.
Isn't that the Charlie Strong philosophy? You decline downwards until you're eventually just out of a job.
Yes, you fail downwards until you become a coordinator at a high school team or something. But
Now the main reason why I also have an issue with Arizona is the fact that they might be without their starting quarterback again. Gunnell has actually been decent so far this season. He ended up missing last game because of a shoulder injury. He's questionable. I know that's a rivalry game, but I don't really know why they would just force him back if he's not ready to. It doesn't seem like a smart move. I don't think he's going to play, and I think the backup quarterback's pretty bad. However, the one thing I do like in this game is actually going to be the under. I think this total's a little bit too high here at 55.5 right now. Main reasons why Arizona State is 2-0 to the under. They struggled to move the ball against UCLA. Really, they scored 27 points against USC. USC had a couple of really bad turnovers, so I don't think Arizona State really moved the ball that well there. Meanwhile, Arizona, you're used to seeing, for example, with Tate as their quarterback for the last couple of years, a very high-octane offense, scores a ton of points. Not the case.
No.
They scored 30 against USC, 27 against Washington, scored 10 against UCLA, 13 against Colorado. And Arizona State's defense under Herm Edwards usually pretty decent. So I think that this total is a little bit high, especially if Arizona's without their starting quarterback. I don't think they're going to move the ball that well at all. I'm going to link to the under. I think this game has something like, I don't even know, maybe 30-17, something like that. I'm going to link to the under.
I got a play on the side for my premium players, but I I'm with you on the lean and the under. I'll tell you the one thing that troubles me about the under, Scott, is both of those defensive backfields are absolutely decimated.
I don't think both quarterbacks can throw the ball.
There is that. It really comes down to, do they have anybody at the QB position that's going to be able to take advantage of defensive backfields that are definitely not up to snuff this year?
Now, I know that Colorado is a good team. I know that they're undefeated in the Pac-12. Arizona's backup quarterback was awful. I know that Colorado's defense has been good. Their backup quarterback's not any good, and I've seen Daniels play for Arizona State. He can run. He can't throw the ball more than 10 yards. Shout out Cam Newton. But I can't see them creating enough big plays here because both quarterbacks, I think, are going to limit their team from generating a ton of big passing plays.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think that both of them are going to be able to get after the quarterback enough.
Yeah.
To cause problems. This Arizona offensive line is terrible at pass protection. They give up over 4 sacks a game.
Mm-hmm.
And Herm Edwards' team, they're gonna be able to have some exotic things that they do to get after the quarterback.
And there is a chance that Arizona State, I think Arizona State's more likely to have a good offensive game than Arizona because of all the injuries to the quarterback and stuff like that, and Herm Edwards being a very solid defensive mind. So even if Arizona State scores 35 in this game, am I sure that Arizona's going to score 21? No.
True. Yeah,
I'm not sure about that. I think Arizona might end up with like 17.
Because make no mistake, these defenses are not good. Between the two, they've played 6 games. They've never given up less than 24 points.
I'm just saying they've played 6 games combined between these teams, and the under is 5-1.
Yeah.
So they haven't exactly been high scoring. I'm going to lean to the under here.
Correct. Yeah, it's definitely been a matter. It's not their defense that's done it for them. It's a matter of the offense has just been pretty dreadful. So, All right, my friend, let's move on to the last game of the evening, and we've got the Nevada Wolfpack and the San Jose State Spartans. Home game for the Spartans there in Vegas, of course, as California has banned all contact sports, at least until, I don't know, first of the year maybe.
It's the second time this year Nevada's been a road team in their home state.
Yep, it is. Just right down the road there as far as a short flight goes. There's, out west, there's nothing just right down the road, but it is a short flight. It's certainly a shorter flight from Reno than it is coming from San Jose. Nevada's 1.5-point favorite here. 59 is your total.
This is such a good game to watch, but it's so tough to actually find the lean on this because I kind of have a soft spot for both teams, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I like I like both these teams. Nevada has looked really good this year, with the exception of a bad loss they took to Hawaii.
And they have always struggled in Hawaii. That's a historical thing. They're terrible playing in Hawaii.
Well, that doesn't even make sense. I mean,
I'm just saying it's a thing. You can look back to their recent performances in Honolulu. They have been awful, like for the last decade or so. They never win in Hawaii. It's really weird. I don't know if it's the jet lag or something, but they never play well there. I don't know.
It shouldn't. I don't know. I mean,
I'm just saying it's just a fact. They just are always terrible in Hawaii.
That doesn't make a lick of sense.
I'm okay. I'm just telling you what the numbers tell you.
Well, I mean, part of it is Hawaii's had a pretty good team up until this year.
Correct. This year they've been. I don't even know what to describe them as. The garbage time kings. Is that how I describe them?
The spread beaters.
I guess. I don't know.
Heartbreakers. Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway, it doesn't change the fact that Nevada's still been very good this year.
True, and they've. It's a shame because it is probably one of their better seasons for sure. They've got a nice quarterback. The line on this one has completely switched. Yesterday, this was San Jose State. The day before it was 2.5. Yesterday it was 1.5, and now it has switched to Nevada as a 1.5-point favorite. So there is definitely money coming in on the Wolfpack.
I don't see the 1.5 favorite part. I see around San Jose State -1. It might depend on what book you're using.
I got bet online. Nevada -1.5 at -111.
So for the sake of argument, we'll call it a pick'em as of right now.
Okay. All right. So yeah, depending on who you like, if you like San Jose State, you can catch them with points at the right spot, and if you like Nevada, you can catch that minus. You can catch them at pick 'em. You say you still see them as a dog?
I see San Jose State at -1 in a couple spots, but once again, it's the importance of shopping your lines. That's basically how we're talking.
You don't usually see 2.5 points of difference, though.
Correct, but occasionally you see it.
What's your feelings on this one? Who do you like?
Well, for starters, before we actually get into the side, I kind of wanted to just ask you about the total here. There's been a lot of money on the over because Nevada loves to throw the ball around. I know that Starkel's been pretty good for San Jose State. I think this total's too high. I'm going to lean to the under. First of all, I'm just going to start with the total there. I know that San Jose State's defense is very underrated. Their defense has been very good so far this year, and mostly against the run. Now, that doesn't really matter because Nevada doesn't run the ball. But San Jose State has played in a very nice 5 games, and 4 of them have gone under. Mm-hmm. So they've done really well, and the one game that went over by 2 points. So they've done a good job with the under. For a team that loves to throw the ball around, Nevada's also been pretty decent with the under as well. As if you look at Nevada, they've only had 2 games go over the posted total this whole year. I kind of like the under because I think that Nevada's defense is kind of lost in the shuffle here. Nevada's defense are really not that bad. And people are distracted by Carson Strong throwing the ball around and Dobbs, who's a very good receiver, and that whole big play offense. The defense really not that bad. I think the total's too high.
Yeah, they. I will say this about San Jose State: they really haven't faced any kind of an offense.
Definitely true.
I mean, I guess you could argue that Air Force has a good offense. They're good at what they do.
No, they haven't faced a team that can actually throw besides Hawaii, but that doesn't even really count.
Yeah, that was a dreadful game for Air Force. That was just an all-time awful game.
Yeah, I had money on Air Force. I remember it.
I do too. They did help. They held Air Force to 206 yards rushing, 4.2 yards per carry. So yeah, they haven't been dinged by anybody. They haven't really given up. They haven't given up a 300-yard passer. The most they've given up on the ground, like I said, was Air Force 206, but they haven't let anybody run for more than 4.2 yards per carry, and that was Air Force. Everybody else has run for 4 yards or less. So I agree with you. I think they're going to be able to shut down the running game. So that's what makes me worried about that over, because Nevada doesn't really need a lot of incentive to throw the ball around, but they're going to have it. And I think, I'm not sure I can go with you there on the under, buddy.
I'm just throwing it out there because it is worth mentioning that even though Nevada's offense has been very good this year, they have scored less than 28 points in 3 of their last 4 games.
That's true.
And some of those opponents include Hawaii and New Mexico.
Yeah, when you're only putting up 27 against New Mexico and winning by 7. There could be some underlying issues. So yeah, all right, I'll lean under there as well. I'm
not going to play it, but I'd lean under. It's mostly because I feel like people found out the way to beat Nevada is you just treat them like a Mike Leach system. You rush 3 guys, you put 8 in coverage, and just tell Strong, I dare to throw this ball 2 yards. That's kind of what teams have started to do against Nevada. Now, Fresno didn't get the memo because they gave up 37 points. But I think you'll agree that's kind of the method of how to beat this Nevada team.
Yeah.
Rush 3 guys, drop everyone in coverage, and just tell them, all right, take your 3 yards.
Well, it is telling that the game they rushed for the least amount of yards, they put up the most points.
Yeah.
Against Fresno last week, they ran for 62 yards and put up 37 points. So
truth is, though, that's with the side. I kind of like San Jose State here. And I know that it wouldn't surprise me if Nevada wins the game, anything like that. San Jose State so far this season, 4-0-1 against the number. They haven't lost yet in a point spread.
Right.
I really like this team. I know that their schedule has been very easy because San Diego State turned out to be a really mediocre to below average team. They haven't played anybody. But
good defense. So it's still a good defense at San Diego State. But
I know. I'm just saying the offense with Carson Strong, who might be one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen in that conference. I know he's not starting anymore. But at the time,
wait. You said Carson Strong.
No, sorry, not Carson Strong. Carson Baker.
Yeah, there you go.
He's bad. Awful.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, but sorry.
They usually run the ball better than they haven't been able to run the ball well.
He's got the worst qualities of Carson Wentz and Baker Mayfield. So
nice.
Merged the 2. But yeah, my bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, you're right. But thank you for correcting me on that. But yeah, so anyway, San Jose State hasn't played an offense of this caliber, but I really like this team. And I really think that we talked about this before we went on air. I'm a huge fan of how Brent Brennan's done for coaching this San Jose State team. I think he'll get a bigger job potentially during the offseason, but I don't know. This team just has a certain energy about them, which I just think is contagious. And I like this team, and they've definitely embraced the underdog role all season long. So I don't think they're going to look up at this opponent and say, we're scared of Nevada. I think they'll give them their A game. I think it'll be very close. Truth is, I think this line's pretty accurate. I think you can flip a coin. But I'll lean to the under, and I'll lean to San Jose State.
All right, very good. I do have a premium play on this.
That's the game I'm definitely going to be watching.
Yeah, it's probably going to be better than the other two games put together. I'll fade you on the under. I'll go slight fade. I'll lean slightly over. I'm just looking at this.
I might have wanted it at 56.5, but now it's at 59.
Yeah.
I feel like I already lost some value there. I might wait, though. I do think this line might eventually cross 60, especially if people lose money on the North Texas and Arizona games. You might just see bailout specials on the over in that one. But, yeah, I'm going to lean to the under. It wouldn't surprise me if you see maybe a red zone interception, turnover, stuff like that.
By the way, Friday night's the squarest night of the week. Did you know that?
That doesn't surprise me.
People get their paychecks, and a lot of people that normally don't get involved on Friday night because they.
Well, plus, if they win on Friday night, they got to double down on Saturday. Good times.
Good times indeed. All right, buddy. So there you go. We split a little bit here on the total. I'm just looking at this. I'm just looking at this San Jose State team that's put up 135 points in their last 4 games, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just not impressed.
It's one of those games where I would never bet it, but I am very interested in watching this game.
I have a very definite opinion on the side here. So
okay.
All right, there you go. So that's our show for part 1 of Today at Sports Betting, taking a look at these 3 games. Not a bad Friday card, Scott. I mean, they got some interesting battles there.
It's good in terms of quantity.
There's a lot of them. Hopefully, they'll, like you said, they'll all be on TV of some sort where we can watch it without jumping through a bunch of hoops. So
an absolute joke that game wasn't on TV last night.
As always, if you're looking for a deep dive into these games and, the rest of the card for the weekend, we got you covered over there at winnersandwhiners.com. Deep dives into every game every single day. You want to find even more information about San Jose State, what they've been doing. By golly, that is the place to go because we have guys that are absolute snipers there in the Mountain West. So make sure you stop by and check out winnersandwhiners.com. Make sure you listen to us every day as we give you our best plays on the games of the day. And, of course, if you like what we're doing, maybe you're making a little money, we'd appreciate it if you give us the thumbs up, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, click the bell, get notified each and every time Scott and I put up brand new content. And we put up a lot of content, don't we, Scott?
Yeah. I know that I put up a lot of videos on obscure college basketball games, which I know you despise. But, yeah, it's a lot of content.
I don't despise them, Scott.
No, you just think that I'm mocking you at this point.
Well, you are mocking me at this point, but it's kind of it's a delicate balance when you're shooting videos because you want to shoot videos that's going to appeal to the most amount of people, but you also want to pick winners. So I can't give you a hard time about picking your little sisters.
If I was losing with these games, then you would never hear. I would never hear the end of it. But
oh no, you would not. But
that's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, ultimately, our job is to make videos with good picks that make people money, and that's what you've been doing. So it's now if only 300 people are watching them as opposed to 2,500 on your other stuff.
But those 300 people will tell 300 people, and then they will tell 300 people, and then pretty soon, you have a couple thousand.
Pretty soon, you're going to start moving lines yourself, buddy.
Something like that. Mover and shaker in the business.
Well, we appreciate you guys watching, of course. Stay tuned. Just sit back and relax. Do our we do our probably my most fun my favorite show of the year of the week as we pick our 3 favorite college football games on our next video.
We have to decide what we're going to be doing for the for a bowl game thing. Are we creating a separate competition for that? Are we adding bonus points? I don't know how you want to do this.
I'll have to figure that out when we see what bowl games are actually going to be played.
We'll figure it out, but I'm curious if you want to separate the regular season from the bowl games or not.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Works for me.
We should have a regular season champ and a bowl season champ. No question.
Yep, works for me.
All right, you guys, appreciate you watching and wish you nothing but good luck today. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. You guys are the best. Appreciate you watching. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. And you know what? We'll just see you next time on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.